Chris, and we just had some great meetings out there with some some big insurance companies, and just excited to see some of the things, guys, that we're really working hard behind the scenes. As we get ready to move into this entire loyalty, the community partner program, and the opportunities that this is going to create for us when we're talking to small business owners. All right. Not only are we going to bridge that gap, tying in all the consumers and nonprofits and local businesses, right? But ultimately, for many of you, we're going to get into the insurance side of this in some really big ways. So one of the things that we were working on behind the scenes, all right, is, and we'll give you guys more updates, and I'm definitely going to ask many of you to jump on a conference call with me in the next several weeks, because I want your feedback on some of the group ideas and some strategies we're putting together, from group chassis to individual chassis dynamic for these employees, all right? And we've got some insurance carriers that have absolutely went crazy when they saw our program. One of the companies that flew out last week, this week, is huge in the benefit world. And when they saw our platform, they saw the mousetrap, they absolutely have been very, very excited. In fact, we met with all the corporate brass, the CEO and all the directors the week before on a Friday, and we let them know we were going to be in Wisconsin, and sure enough, we had their VP of all marketing that does all worksite fly out, and we spent a day with him on Tuesday. Guys, there's just some really cool stuff happening there that we're going to be able to just grow this thing, and I think create some really incredible income streams behind the scenes from an insurance perspective, and I think you guys are going to see it, and I think we're going to create some incredible opportunities there. So I think everybody's seeing the platform coming together, seeing what we're creating from a value proposition, and I think you guys are seeing it as well. So just want to give you guys a quick update on that. Here's where we've been this last week and a half. We've literally been, I'm so thankful we did not print out those brochures. Those brochures, there is a lot of grammar, there's a lot of challenges inside those things that aren't consistent. And so this last week, man, we've been, I feel like, making more and more changes to those things, tighten up the language, getting these things to be in a better spot before we go to print. So I'm really grateful for that. There's been a lot of feedback on the NEXX website dynamic, and I'm going to just show you guys some stuff, kind of a visual of what's happened, but what we're hoping to do is finish all the edits literally in the next several days so we can get this thing programmed, all right? So we've already started working on the programming behind the scenes of getting the website. So kind of our goal next week, and it's not a dire need, but what we really want to do is the NEXX website finished and have that thing up and running, and make sure that we have all the grammar and the consistency happening. So got a lot of cool stuff happening there that I think you guys are going to love to see that site be up and have that thing ready here. So any questions or comments, guys, on the brochures, NEXX website? I just want to give you, we're not going to print on any of this stuff right now just because we're literally trying to make sure it's all consistent before we go to print. And having multiple eyes on this has been a huge home run for us. So any questions, thoughts, guys, on that?
Nope.
Awesome. All right, so let me give you guys a couple updates on the ELP program. Paul has been working behind the scenes like crazy this last week and a half, and guys, just a tremendous amount of 80-hour weeks. That's what's happening right now, and it's just been awesome because it's finally coming together. The ELP program, I think we got the videos all done. We had a lot of little tiny fixes that we had, and integrating the platform into the CMA network, and guys, we're probably going to move away from saying CMA. We're probably just going to move into it's the rewards network type of mindset, just to keep all of our our language consistent. It's Simply Rewards and it's NEXX Solutions as the exclusive distributor, and we just want to tighten all that stuff up. So we probably won't it's hard for us to communicate because we're so used to saying CMA, but we're just going to we're going to be using the rewards network kind of moving forward internally for all of us to manage all those deals. Okay. Will we change the URL in the future? Yes, we will change the URL in the future. It's just today it's not. It's a big process to go through and change all that dynamic from the way the program's been set up. But just so you guys know, that's where we're headed from a communication standpoint internally. So we're gonna, and you guys can catch me, Mark. Brad, stop saying CMA. So I'll give you that permission. That'll ingrain in my brain that I want to move away from using CMA and using the rewards network. Okay. Any questions on that, guys, as to what we're doing? So the ELP, okay, the ELP is done. All right. In fact, there was 2 minor changes that we needed to make this morning. So that thing is dialed in, ready. The videos. In fact,
well, should we give a little preview of it?
Yeah. What I'd love is, and what we're going to do right now, guys, I'm going to have Paul walk you through the ELP, just at high level, what has been done, what has been changed, and then as soon as we're done, I'm going to tell you that as Paul has been working tirelessly, we put together the entire training site, all right, for everybody. So now we're going to start moving aggressively away from Dropbox and things of that. We are building out the NEXX training website, okay, and Paul's going to walk us through this, but our goal is every one of you guys are going to be taking on this challenge at different intervals, okay, meaning, Mark just started last week, and this week signing up ELPs. He's got a bunch of questions, and we're having to go through this in stages. So we've been working behind the scenes and just to get the training site where, guess what, Mark doesn't have to ask us, right? First question he goes is to the training site, and after the training site, he watches the videos, understands how this thing works. Then he goes, hey, Brad, Paul, great, but we missed 3 things, and it didn't make sense to me this. So, guys, as you're going through this, part of this is and here's what I really need, all right? If you're going to be one that sits on the sidelines and doesn't get involved with it, okay, we don't want you in the group, okay? I hate to say it, but I need more people in this because that's what we've asked all of you guys to participate in this so that we can flush out all the challenges, okay? What are the challenges? What doesn't make sense? So when Mark goes through it and he calls Paul and says, Paul, I get it. It's not very clear, and that is helpful. Does that make sense? It's helpful. Guys, at 1 o'clock in the morning when you're putting all this stuff together, everything sounds great at 1 o'clock in the morning, correct? Then you wake up at 7 and you're going, God, who wrote that? How many beers did I have last night? That's what you start questioning, all right? Especially with Paul. So if you see a little weird stuff, guys, just realize, we had a little of that behind the scenes going on.
I switched to tequila, so it might even be worse.
Okay. There you go. So that being said, that's what we need you guys to be able to go through. We need you to go through these videos and go, hey, because imagine this. You guys, as you're building this out, when we move to that next phase, when you're bringing on the next person, you need that program, you need this training program to be phenomenal. It has to be incredible. It has to work. It has to communicate all the necessary things to get these guys, everybody up to speed. And if we don't flush this out now, okay, imagine how chaotic this is going to be when we put another 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 people in this, and you're trying to make all these changes. It just gets, you guys will drown and you'll, suffocate because we won't be successful. So
I sure second that one, Brad.
Exactly. All right. So guys, will you take the time, literally go through this training platform, go through it this weekend, spend an hour, go through, and help us start creating this to get better. You got a brand new person, Reve, that you just brought in, okay? You don't want to spend the time. You're selling the vision, you're explaining how this is, and you go, listen, don't talk to me, right? Literally, don't talk to me, don't ask me any questions until you've gone through the training site. Now it puts the onus completely on them. all of a sudden that guy calls you up and says, hey, I got a question. Obviously, Frank, you did not go through module number 3. Oh, well, okay, shut up and go watch version number 3 before you ask me that question. That's what you guys need, correct? We need that to put everybody's onus on them to get trained. And that's what we got to do. And you guys know, man, babysitting everybody is not what you signed up for. It's not how you're going to maximize your time and your efficiency, and it's not going to how you're going to leverage the financial resources that we all need to go out there and create for yourselves and for the teams that you're going to be working on. So is that clear, guys, what we're after? Because we need your help. We need you to break this thing down. This is our, we're coming back and say, okay, guys, we're going to make this better and start fixing things, but my goodness, we just need some help. So, Paul, enough said on my end. Please take over, show us the ELP, walk us through that, then take us through the training platform, man, that you've unbelievably spent massive amounts of time and energy on. So thank you for doing that, bro.
No worries. Glad to make this thing a success and be a part of it with everyone. So can everyone see the screen here?
Yes.
Looking at the rewardsbenefits.com homepage. So, excuse me, a couple things that we wanted to talk about, and there's been a little bit of confusion, and hopefully the training site's going to help clear this up. But if I go to the URL and we say, how do I actually sign up the ELP? It's going to be simplyrewards.com/employers, okay, with an S. So simplyrewards.com/employers. In the future, once the NEXX Solutions website is up, we believe we're just going to have an ability for you to click on that and be able to go ahead and get to this page. But this is the page where you're going to be able to sign up the people for the ELP program. Now, we've shown, I think, a little bit of previews of this, and as Brad said, we wanted to give this as a high-level view for you. But basically, you're going to go ahead and take your first name and last name, email address, and this is going to be of the person that you're signing up, and then your representative ID, and hit continue. You want to be sitting there
Paul?
doing this. Yep.
Paul, this is Mark, and I just want to reiterate to everybody, you said, you're going to put your name in it. No, you're going to put your client's name in the first and second, right?
Yeah.
Their first name and last. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. So that page is specifically designed for you to be sitting there with the business owner and helping them to get through that sign-up process. As Mark and I talked about this last week, or earlier this week, it was a question of, sometimes the business owner may not have the time, and if he doesn't have the time, then you may send him the link and give him your representative ID, and he could sign up or she could sign up themselves. But I think the best thing to do is to be sitting there with them and helping them go through that process, answer any questions that might be. I don't want this to be a daunting task for anyone. Literally, you are at basically the hardest page right here from a sign-up perspective. So they enter their first name and last name. I'm sorry, do you know? Oh, okay, I wasn't sure if there was a question there. Apologize. So they enter that information to get into the database, and then here, this is where we're going to talk about their platform and all of this information, their business website, how many employee memberships are you going to give them based upon the number of employees they have, contact information, contract, and account access. And the very next page is the website agreement. And then after that, they're done. And so that's how you sign them up. Now, what we've done is we've created an entire video as well as a checklist to help you go through this process and get them signed up. Now, I'm going to kind of open this up to everybody. Once they're signed up into the system, where does that business owner go to basically sign in and access his ELP? Where does the business owner go? What URL to log into his account?
Rewardsbenefits.com.
Rewardsbenefits.com. All right, good. After spending 6 or 7 hours with Mark, you finally remembered that.
Hey, I was drinking too.
So we come into the right here where they're going to be able to log in. Now, this is the URL that every business owner for the ELP as well as every one of their employees will come to sign in. So this is where they'll get their information. Now, we wanted you guys to be able to play with it. A lot of our videos we did were focused on Johnny's Pizza. You've been seeing that over the last few weeks. But we created a new one that we'd like you guys to use, and you can use this as really the demo. So because I'm hoping that at one point we're all going to get together in the same room and then we're going to share a glass of wine together, tequila or something harder for Mark there. But the username is excuse me, the username is wine and the password is glass. All right? So wine glass. So we're going to go ahead and just log in. And initially the site's going to look exactly like, with a couple of changes, it's going to look like, the Simply Rewards platform. You can see that up in the corner we've got the wine company logo, their name, and this actually says here the wine company benefits because it's tying into the program and it allows our employees to save money and earn cash back and give back to their community. So you can see that there is a little bit of a different message in terms of the branding inside. Now, where does the business owner need to go? Anyone else besides Mark? Where do I need to go to get to my back office?
My account.
Okay.
And then it says back office.
Scroll down a little bit to the last tab for the rewards back office. All right, so it's basically the same navigation that all of you have for your back office as well. And now we're inside of the ELP and their entire back office in the platform. So we've shown you a lot of these things here. And so just a couple of things to notice. We've added those quick links that you can get access to them. But platform overview video is probably the very first thing that you're going to want to help a business owner to watch. And also go to the video library, which is tied to our resources page. When you click on the platform overview, it takes you to the resources page, and it automatically starts to play the video, and you can see that it's looking at the home page. If I wanted to turn this up, we could hear the voice that's reading this one here, and in this example, guess what? It's not my voice. So all you have to do is hit pause, and it'll stop, and they can come back to it any time. On the left-hand side, you can see that's the platform overview video we're watching. We have one on the Employees tab, one on Email Marketing, Account Management, Manage Offers, and Resources. So it goes right along the same path as the navigation up here. So we tried to, as Brad said, to give it as a high level. Some of them are a little bit longer than the 3 to 4 minutes that he tried to make me do. But again, we wanted to make sure that you had all the details so they understand the program. If they do nothing else when you're sitting there working with that business owner, is we would recommend that you do at least the platform overview and watch that one with them. All right? So we're not going to go through all of this at all today because we just wanted to show you this is where you can get to the videos and you can go through each one of the tabs and you can play with it. So this is a demo site for you guys to use. We did the video recording that we did on the sign up for this one so you guys can utilize this. You can share it with other people. You can show them. And pretend like you're a business owner and see what it works, see how it all works. Brad, anything on this that you want to add in on?
No, Paul, this looks great.
Manage offer section, as I clicked on this is actually something that we added. Initially, because of the fact that a lot of the ELPs that you'll be signing up are already existing merchants, right? You've already got them in your database. And so what we do is we're checking every single day for any new ELP platforms that get connected. Because what we're saying is, hey, this wine company, we're not sure if it's a brand new ELP that you're walking in the door with and they never had a merchant account with us before, or if it's somebody that you've had a merchant account that has signed up a couple months ago and they've given us the free offers, we then want to connect their merchant account to the system. So for the very first time, typically the first 2 days after connecting, you're going to see this message. And if it's not connected and not going directly into the Manage Offers section right away, then we want you to contact us to make sure that we've got that integration set up. All right? Typically, this is going to be done the very next day, if not the same day. But, if you happen to sign up on a Friday, then you got your 2 business days. It's not going to probably happen until Monday. All right? But this is where that initial connection is, where they can manage all of their offers inside of the system. All right?
Hey, Paul?
Yes.
I imagine you corrected already that issue we had with the business URL when I was trying to sign up that client?
I did. It's actually no longer a required field. So what?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
What Mark was saying is that ultimately when you come in and you do that sign-up process, we ask for some key information for the business owner, and one of those information was the business's website. But as Mark ran into, living up there in Pine Top, a lot of those people don't have websites. So in that example,
we got outdoor plumbing, okay?
So when you're in that example, it can't be a required field. So I told him just to put down his own Facebook page, and that could become the business owner's website there. But no, we've not made it.
I don't have a Facebook page.
We've not made it a required account there. But the reason for some of that information is if you come in here now, you should be seeing we're looking at the Johnny's Pizza again example. If I come back into the My Account, you can see that this information is going to pull from all the information you put in there. So the business's name, their address, city, state, zip, and what their business website is. Now, it's not a required field on the sign up because we know not every business is going to have a website. But this is where that information is going to pull to, which ultimately will then go to your mobile app. So when people are signing up, you want to make sure that that's a real business website, or don't include it, and then it won't be showing up on the mobile app. So again, we have the complete integration from the inside of the site to their Manage Offer section as well. All right. Okay, Brad. Well, next up, if we want to take a look at the training site.
Let's do it, Paul.
All right. So some of you have seen and been a part of working with us for several years and have seen some of this right here, and we're looking at it from a preview screen at this point. But basically, we're going to give everyone.
Oh, we can't see anything, bro. So say Johnny's Pizza.
Huh?
I see the NEXX solution.
Oh,
We saw it. It was there. Yeah, we saw it.
Okay.
All right.
I just refreshed
Go
the
on,
page again.
Sorry.
I see NEXX.
All right. Everybody seeing NEXX Solutions at the top?
Yes.
Okay. So this is basically a training portal that we have, and so this first screen that we're looking at is just a dashboard, but what we've tried to do is make it as simple as possible, and again, we'll take suggestions, and if we can make it better, then absolutely it'll make us better as a team. And so really you will log in and you'll have your own username and password for the site, and you can upload your own little icons and an image of yourself, and there's an ability to chat through the process and to be able to communicate and say, I really like this video, or hey, this is what I did with this particular script. And so it's designed to be interactive for us, so that as people are sharing information, as people are using some of the training tools, there might be a question that gets asked. So we'll be able to monitor that information and, again, continue to build the community amongst us to make us better and to help make our team better as well. So we first start off with the dashboard as you log in. We have a Start Here message. It talks a little bit about NEXX Solutions and, a little bit about our vision, and we'll be adding some more information to that as well so that everyone can see that. But probably the biggest section that you'll be wanting to focus on is the Training Center. And so what we've done is we've broken that down into really the key products, if you will, that, where we're going to represent. So right off the bat, for the last couple of months, we've spent a lot of time talking about the free merchant. Obviously, we're talking about the ELP coming soon, the community partner, and then eventually we'll be talking a little bit about the nonprofits and how we can work together a little bit more with them. But if we take a look at the free merchant, and come in here, we can see that we've got a couple different folders to get to. Sales tools, marketing. Yeah.
It's kind of, I'm sorry, real quick. Catherine's watching the video and on the training center.
Yeah.
Something's misspelled, so.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw it too. I did see it. I wasn't going to say anything.
All right, so I did go to bed at 1 a.m.
Tequila.
I did go to bed
Hey,
at 1
guys.
a.m.
Tequila.
Tequila and 2 p.m. That's all good. 2 a.m. Nicely done, Paul.
Dun, 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 dun. So anyway, what we've done is we've taken the information that we've been sharing in the Dropbox, and we put some of that in here. So when you click on the Training Center and look at the sales tools, you can see that we've created, the merchant checklist for enrolling a free merchant. We went over that a couple months ago. I've changed that a little bit because we're now focused on the Simply Rewards merchant agreement. Then we actually have the merchant agreement. We've also shared a little while ago about the sample scripts that we have, so you can click on that and look at some scripts. Frequently asked questions, objections, top 10 mobile offers, and the tracking documents. So all of this information is here on one tab as it relates to that particular product that we're looking at underneath the free merchant. Now if I go back, I can take a look at the next one, and it's the marketing. And right now we don't have a lot of marketing materials for for the free merchant, but we do have our merchant trifold brochure that we've been sharing with you all. And so here's the ability for you to click on that and download that. To kind of put it in a little bit of a different format for everyone to take a look at. But you can see this is the latest version that we have, minus the questions that I guess Brad was saying he was receiving, but so that you can take a look at it. So I tried to cut it a little bit so that it looks more like the brochure when you would open it. Okay. So we're going to try and have sample pieces of that information so that you at least can look at it, and then we'll be adding, once we have the final version, we'll be adding the ability for you to download the print version so that if you needed to print that yourself in your market, you can do that. And then the last category is the videos that we have, and so we've got a couple of videos, and even though Mark said no CMA, currently if that free merchant went and logged in, we haven't rebranded that part of it yet, so it's still the CMA website for how you can log in, how you can enter your merchant, and how to add an online offer. So just filling in some of the information that we've already done, and these are videos that you can actually watch. So if I wanted to focus on how to add an online mobile offer, I just click on that, and page loads, and then I can go ahead and just click on that and watch that video right there. The next section that we've designed is the employee loyalty program, and so these are the two biggest ones that we have with information that we have right now. So same thing, you can see we've got the loyalty brochure that we've been working on. We have an overview of the program. We have a review of the contract, how to sign up the ELP. So this is what we just kind of looked at. We have an entire video on how to actually sign that person up, and we use the wine company as our example to be able to get in there. And then we've also created that checklist I mentioned to be able to follow the steps on what do I need to do. Step 1, where do I go? simplyrewards.com/employers, entering their information. Step 2, platform setup. Step 3, agreement, confirmation, and then the next steps. So we have all that information here for you. Again, one particular place for you to come and be able to review that information and follow along. So we've got lots more that we're probably going to be adding. I mean, I know that we're going to be adding to the system. And then also one place for you to go, you don't have to necessarily log into the wine company, is that this is really their back office. And so what we've done is we've patterned the same thing after the login of the ELP, and we'll add more information here. But if we do additional training videos for the merchant, you'll be able to come in here and see the same thing. This is the overview of the employees page. So this is the same information that you're going to find on the back of that resources tab in the ELP, but it's right here for you as well. Because I think there's value in you knowing what's on the back office for them prior to them learning it as well, right? So this is an opportunity for you to know exactly how does the employees management work? How do I add an employee? How do I use the manage offer section and all of those details? So it's all contained right here for you inside of the training site. Community partner program, coming soon basically, right? Because we're going to be developing a lot of that out, talking about the marketing pieces and everything else that we have, and the same thing for the nonprofits at this time. And then, of course, when you have something that you just don't know where to stick it in the resources section. So we have a couple of things here for you. We've got the sample email. I believe Dave created this a couple months back when he was trying to work with a large restaurant chain, and so he had created this email or a letter that it could be used to contact corporate. Preview of the website that we've been just showing this morning. Again, preview of the design pages that we showed on the webinar last week. NEXX Solutions email setup, and I think I also had a business card set up in here as well that must not be showing. So again, resources on how do I get my email set up? How do I get my business cards printed? So other information for you to grab from here. And then our past webinars. So we'll have webinars that that we've done for everybody so they can come in and look at. This would be one from a couple of weeks ago talking about preview of the platform. And so we'll be able to put the webinars back in here. So if you happen to be out there training, or Mitch, you're flying out to Hawaii like you do every other week, and you miss it,
sure.
We want you to be able to come back on and and catch that webinar.
I appreciate that.
And then we have a couple other sections, but really just news and updates. If there's information that we wanted to make sure that everyone's aware of, that we can put that in there, like, hey, the training site launched, hey, we've updated the latest merchant agreement, and different information like that. You can always come to the news and updates section so that we can let you know about any of the latest changes that are happening. And if somebody, not necessarily you on this call, but one of your trainees, as this continues to grow, they might need to know, where do I go to get some support? And so we just reference some information how they can get to. If they have a question that's really platform specific, that they can go to support at Simply Rewards. But if they have more of a sales question or materials question or something that has to deal with the NEXX Solutions modules, then they can go to the NEXX support as well. I think that about does it. There's one other thing that we're going to be adding to this, and that is really that we've added a whole level of permissions. And so because we're still in our preview, what you can see is that we've got the ability to look at whether it's a marketing associate, the director, a marketing manager, and having different levels of information that we share. We talked about,
right.
Mitch, you brought that up, a couple months ago that, hey, you posted that video and it talked about the compensation and different aspects, and we don't want our marketing associates to necessarily see that information. So
perfect.
This training platform has the ability that everybody has a level when they come in. And so what I believe we're going to be able to do is that there will be one more tab, because I think it'll be easier for us to probably, and I'll take suggestions on that for sure, but I think it might be easier rather than having it inside of each one of the tabs, we'll just have a marketing director tab. And so it'll be for your eyes only. And so we'll have an ability to put in information about, the compensation that's directly for you as a marketing director, or building your team, and some of the information that we share on these conference calls and those particular webinars. So again, we can do it anywhere we want. We can intermix it inside of it. We can look at webinars, and if you're signed in as a marketing director, it's still in the same location. You see those videos, and other people don't. So we haven't decided on that yet, but that's a section just so that you know that your people who come in won't see all the same exact information that you will. All right.
Perfect.
So that's about it.
Paul, is this live where my team can actually go onto this site now and look at this?
I believe,
like Lisa and Carly?
There's just a couple of little changes that I wanted to do this morning, and so I'm going to review it this morning. I would say by lunchtime, let's say by noon Pacific, we will go ahead and send everybody out an email. And
Sweet.
If you have a team, obviously I can add to those people in there and invite them.
Sure,
yeah, we want to definitely
Carly
get out to you. So the one thing is I would say the email doesn't come from us. The email comes basically from like support at Kajabi. So make sure that you check your spam or your junk filters the first time that the email goes out there.
Awesome.
Have a different username and password?
It's going to create an initial one for you. So basically, it's I would create the email address. I'm sorry. All I need to do is enter your name and your email address, and then that will give you the ability to create a password when you click on the link to sign in the very first time. So you'll create that. So I'll be using the emails that are the NEXX Solutions emails, and if you prefer to have something else, then we can use that as well. You can always change it, but initially, I think everyone in this call has a NEXX Solutions email, so I'll be able to set you up that way.
But as you bring people aboard, can each one of them have a different username and password from the other person?
Oh yeah.
Yes, it's email. It's email based. I'm sorry, it's email based.
So yeah, Dino, everybody's going to have their own access to the site.
Okay.
Yep. And again, once we get this thing done, I think it's going to be really critical, guys, that Paul, go back to the training, the ELP. Just pull up an ELP and click on a video or something. Here's what we really have got to do. Guys, on these brochures, realize we're going to read, so don't make comments on the brochures or any of that stuff, because honestly, we've got a lot of fixes we still have to do, okay? But this is what we're after, okay? You guys, we're going to put you guys all as kind of the expert, all right? And we're going to make you guys have the ability to make comments on the site. So imagine, I'm underneath Reve, all right? Reve brought me in, and I'm an associate. Awesome. I had a question, okay? Well, the truth is the question could be answered by Dino, all right? The question could be answered by Ken. And what we're going to do is we're going to allow our managers, all right, to have the ability to make those comments, and we need you guys to make those comments so that this thing becomes a self-monitoring opportunity, all right? And I think that's kind of what we're trying to do is to start building. So as you guys are going through specifically the ELP, okay, listen, if you got a question, all right, that is really generic, man, let's put that in there, okay? Then what's going to happen is we're going to come back and comment right over the top of it and say, hey, great question, Mark. This is where you need to get this information, or let me address this to make it clear. So imagine, guys, as we build this, in the next group of people we bring in, okay, there might, as they read this right now, you're seeing no comments. Well, imagine Mark has commented, Paul came over and commented, I commented, King commented. What happens is that person's coming in, right? They see this and go, oh, this is cool, right? And inside of that comment, there's going to be a question that somebody's not thinking about or they're thinking they don't want to ask. That's what we want to build. So as you guys are commenting and watching these videos, let's make some comments on it. No question. Let's make some comments, some feedbacks. Guys, let's put some questions in there. If they're not good, it's not clear, let's make it clear. If it's a, if you think it's a really crappy dynamic, awesome. I'm not going to put, we're going to delete that comment, and then we'll call you and say, hey, what do we need, right? But this is what we got to build, is this community. And eventually, guys, as we build this, as we bring people into this, right, they feel like it's a community. They know there's some experts. They know who's the go-to people, and you guys become those go-to people. So we want to promote you in that process of being these managers, being that expert, and that's really what we're designing to do. So this program allows us to do all that stuff. So we just got to have you guys going in, making some comments. Hey, if you're seeing misspelling phrases, man, send Paul and me, send both of us an email, okay? Paul at simplyrewards.com, Brad at simplyrewards.com. Send us an email so we can make these adjustments. At some point, we'll probably let you guys, a couple of you that are more fanatical, once we get this thing kind of built the way, we'll probably give you guys the ability to go in there and make some edits yourself, all right? But right now, let's work through that, guys. So if you guys can help us with that, that's what we're looking for, and to really give us a better understanding of what we need. Is that fair?
Yeah, and I think, Brad, the one thing just to say is that, we've probably all seen larger companies today basically have support chat forums. And really that's kind of what we're talking about in this example, is that, not only are the tools there, but basically when people have questions, anyone can answer. So how many times now it seems like every company, every product, I can't pick up the phone and call anybody, but I get directed to the support center, and then there's a chat, and I type in my question, and guess what? There's another 3 people that had that exact same question, and a lot of people gave us those answers, right? So that's the same type of thing that we're talking about that is building inside of the program. So.
Love it. Guys, any more thoughts or questions on this?
When will you have the ability to give an associate different access?
It's really set up now. Everybody's just, think of what we're going to do, guys. Right now, we're only going to have 2 levels. Even though Paul's got this thing set up, right now we're probably just going to have 2 levels. One is the marketing associate that just comes in. Boom, that's what it is. So everybody will kind of come in that default position, and then we'll have the manager tool for that dynamic at that stage. So we can literally have that dialed in, Ken, immediately. Once we get a couple of these other little tiny things fixed, we can have it. Okay?
I've been sending everybody my flyers and emails and stuff. So this would be nice to have one resource for everyone to go to. It'd be awesome. So thank you.
Well, I guess I would say, Brad, from that perspective, Ken, if your question is, as I bring on a new associate, how do I give them access? And basically email, we're going to need to do a setup basically for any new person as we're doing it. So as we do our different recruiting phases, as we've talked about doing that in the future, at that point, once we hire, let's say, 3 people, 5 people, whatever it might be, we're going to go through a process, setting them with their email, giving them business card setup, giving them access to the training site. So if there's people that, that you're working with right now, then I guess send an email to me directly, and and we'll get them access.
Cool.
Kind of like use all your stuff for everything you need all at once. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm just going to come back to, and many of you guys do this, you guys are watching a video, and we're going to get this video out to you. Ken sent me this earlier in the week and just got, hey, Brad, I just think this is appropriate for what we're building. And guys, I'm going to tell you, this is what we need you guys to step up to help make this thing better. That's what we're looking at. All right. And so when Ken sends me this video,
we're not seeing the video, Brad. We're looking at the network and sharing center. Sorry.
There you go. How about this? Can you guys see this?
Yep, there it is.
Yes, no, Ken.
Perfect. And thanks, Paul. So Ken sends me this video, all right? And, Ken probably sends me 5 different articles every week. And, guys, it's relevant stuff, all right? What we're really trying to do is build up everybody's knowledge base, their sales experience. Guys, there's new technology happening every day, and we have got to be on top of the change that they're taking in our marketplace. So Ken sends me this, all right, Science of Persuasion, all right? So it's an 11-minute video. Guys, unbelievable, right? And honestly, this entire point number 1 and point number 2, point number 3, guys, that is us. Does that make sense? The law of reciprocity, right? They go in and explain the power of persuasion, the power of getting a yes, all right? You lead with the law of reciprocity, and you think of everything that we're doing, guys, that's what we do, all right? You talk about scarcity, all right? Well, guess what? Are we selling an exclusive model? Are we selling something that we can take away? And it gets into this example of not just going, here's all the list of the benefits, right? Here's my benefit selling, that sometimes what we all get used to is, just like if I'm selling insurance, correct? Hey, this is what this policy will do. At the end of the day, the customer doesn't care about the benefits. We want to go to the benefits side of selling because we think people buy that way. The truth is they buy out of fear, they buy out of loss, and this is what this really talks about. So you guys, we're going to put this stuff up there. It was an awesome video. And what I would encourage you guys to do is watch this video. We'll get this out to you. It's on YouTube, the Science of Persuasion. Really good stuff. The point I want to make, all right, is as you guys are coming across different things about selling, you guys have, we've all got to start looking at this and going, hey, we've got to build this dynamic, right? We have got to build all the tools in this model for this to be successful. So, I need everyone because, guys, we just can't do it, right? Unfortunately, we don't have, 50 employees right now, and we can put 20 people just to do research. So we're relying upon you guys, right, to help us build this. This is this dynamic that we're asking help on, right? And I just need you guys to keep your eyes and your ears open. If you come across something that's valuable, man, let's send it in, all right? Send it to Paul and I, and so we could sit there and go, oh, that's awesome, right? As soon as I watch that, I'm like, all right, Paul, we got to put this in the training, the website. This is just a powerful tool. How people should watch this video. This is a great resource. So I just want to encourage everybody, man, the more you guys can help, the more this is going to, the better it's going to be for everybody. And frankly, all the people that we're getting ready to go out there and hire and bring in here, we want them to have an incredible experience. And it can't just be done by Paul or Brad or a select few. We're going to need more and more people to make this very successful. Okay? Last thing I'd like to walk you guys through here is we're going to kind of show you this is what's happening behind the scenes, right? So the community partner program, all right, the community partner program, it's being worked on right now, okay? So, again, you're seeing some of the general screens. Stuff's going to look a little different, but you'll notice up here in the tabs, guys, from the community partners, you still have your employees. This gets into the entire member section, okay? again, I'm going to be able to come in here, my members, add members, import contacts, silver members, gold members, gift gold memberships, birthdays. I can keep track of with all my clients. All right. You're going to start seeing some tools now that we've started integrating all the tools inside of here, which gets into the email marketing. All right. So imagine I click on email marketing. You're going to start seeing email my employees or email my members. Okay. It goes into 2 different tracks. Okay. Your commissions, all that stuff will be there. The lead management, texting platform, all these dynamics that are here. You're going to go into your account management. Okay. And all of a sudden you start seeing a lot more information. So my charity selection, right? Business owner gets to choose all the different stuff that's in there, insurance setup that will be there, filter merchants they're working on, all that stuff, okay? So I just want you guys to understand that's what's been happening this week is putting all the pieces, that filter merchants, that's a big deal. You sell a dentist, we want to make sure that that guy can go in there and based upon that area, find the dentist that's in there and get rid of the other 2, okay? So that's really where we're headed from that perspective. So our goal is to kind of finish up a lot of the basic core dynamics of this entire thing, and then over the next two weeks, man, we're going to be cranking on the entire kind of the changes to the website, navigation, all that stuff. We'll begin this process of making the changes on the basic and free member, gold, all that type of stuff. So guys, over the next 3 weeks, we've got a ton of things to do. I mean, literally just massive amounts of things to do. We got tons of emails. We got tons of stuff. So we're going to begin this process of start unloading some more information, getting some feedback to be able to do that. So any questions on kind of what's happening here with the CPP, getting that ready, getting all the architecture in place to make this easy for the business owner to come in and start doing stuff. Any questions on this, guys?
What's your ETA on that? Have you got any kind of a guesstimate on there?
Mark, we're really shooting for, I think we're going to be in good shape for the 16th, okay? We're really going to work hard to bust it out the kind of the 9th. That week is, we're trying to hit the 9th, and that gives us another week of just massive testing and all that type of stuff. So, our goal is to be ready to hit by the 16th and get guys out there selling and making some things happen. So that's kind of what we're pushing hard on to get done. Guys, I mean, these are big, massive things. Where the mobile app's going to be different. A lot of this, man. So it's we got everybody working, massive overtime right now just to hit these dates. So that's what we're pushing. So that's our goal. So that being said, there's going to be some things that we're going to, we got a bunch of new pieces we got to create next week. All right. So what we're going to ask, man, is if we can, just like that brochure. Okay. A lot of you guys just looked at the brochure and just the response was awesome. Okay. Looks great. Okay. And I appreciate that. All right. But some of the things that would be really helpful is when we get this out here, that we don't take 3 weeks to get changes done, because a couple of you guys look at it and you might make one comment. Those are things, guys, that would really help us for us to hit these dates, is for us to get some information and to get your guys' commitment to really give it a thorough look at. Because what we're not going to be able to do, just for the sake of timing, is just like if we went out and printed out these brochures, okay, and now all these changes that we're finding, because we get a couple people that are going through it with a fine-tooth comb, it would have really sucked to go out and spend $3,000 to $5,000 buying a bunch of brochures that had major misspellings or didn't make sense. And honestly, we're not just going to go waste money and we just go, hey guys, that's what we have. You know what I mean? So we want it to be as professional as possible as we can, so that we don't have to redo this stuff time and time again. So any help you guys can give us would be awesome as we're getting this thing done. It's just we're trying to manage, the guys building the next website, all the stuff that has to get on here, and just trying to get the entire team, everybody working together and coordinating. And there's still quite a bit of programming that has to get done just to even have the architecture in place before you can start plugging in all the graphics and all that good stuff. So just want to give you guys a heads up on that. Any help you guys can give us, we need it. And I'm asking for some help. So please, please, please help. All right? That being said, that's where that's at. Questions?
I have one more question.
Sure.
I know, we're in our fast start phase right now, and I know you bought us another month through July, and you were working on August. Any movement on that yet?
Nope. It'll be July.
Okay.
That's where we're at.
Okay.
So that is where we're going to be. So guys, we're going to put that out there next week. We're going to. My goal is to help to finalize all the compensation that we're going to be working on in relationship to the entire comp model. Okay, we're going to build a comp model to do some calculations that are going to be great as we have people that are going to go out there and build the community partner. Build the ELP in an area. That way you can go back and sell it. You're not using Access Network. So guess what? Those payouts will be different. They'll be higher. Those of you guys that are having to launch in an area that you're going to be utilizing Access as your merchant base from day one, we're going to have a different payout for those people. And so what we're trying to do is put all that logic in place as we build the model. So we're building a formula base that will say, hey, based upon this particular, I'm doing the rewards network of just our local merchants that we've done. There's no access. Great. That's a higher payout, guys, because we're not having to pay the access fees. For those of you that are going to launch and you need access on the front end, awesome. We're going to have that model in place so we know what those costs look like and everybody can win there. So next week, probably next Friday, guys, we'll have a good handle on the compensation of what we're going to. Your guys' stuff is fine. What we're really adjusting is to really make sure we haven't missed anything as we build the compensation models for the associate and kind of walking through some of this feedback from you guys of, what it's going to look like to become a manager, what it's going to look like to move up the ranks, so to speak. And the more we keep looking at it, we need people out there that are going to go out there and prove it and make it work. So let's find those people first and let them go prove it. And I think it's a great balance for all of us. If we go out to the marketplace and say, guys, there's only one contract, what we don't want to do is I'm moving away from, let's not have a contract that has 3 levels on it. Are you guys comfortable with that? We just have one contract. And once that person has performed those duties or there's a stair step that they know they can get to, we can have that process at a different thing. So hopefully next week we'll get into some good discussion about the compensation and what that's going to look like, how we build it, and how you guys can begin to take that out there. So we'll be working on the tools, the spreadsheets, all that type of stuff to help you guys explain it better. And hopefully we're building a compensation entire PowerPoint that kind of walks everybody through. So that will be helpful to get your guys' input so we can make these presentations really simple, because some of you guys are phenomenal at just, all right, Brad, here's what I'd love to be able to do. And so we'll get you guys giving us feedback, and we'll all kind of come up with a compensation model, guys, that we'll have ready. So as you guys are going out, we all have the same compensation plan and model and training that we'll be able to put on the site and have that as our base model. So any questions on that?
Can I make a comment real quick? This is Ken.
Sure.
My personal opinion on the associate is to have one level, because I think what happens once you have you can attain a management or whatever, it makes it seem like it's a like a multi-level marketing thing as opposed to a true legitimate company.
Yep.
But I think they sell. This is what you get paid, and if we want to pay them more, then it's our discretion to give them bonuses or whatever. But I don't like the fact that you have different pay levels. So I'm all for just having us and then an associate level. It's just my personal opinion.
No, and that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, Ken, is to, even though we have these different levels, right, but we're not promoting them, correct? We go to market and say, guys, here's the compensation model. This is what it looks like. And we're not coming in and saying, hey, oh, there's 3 levels and all that type of stuff. So that's a little bit. Yep.
To us, it's going to come to a point that I may have a guy that I hired that's a superstar, and I want him to run 5 territories or move over. Then I can make him a management based on his performance and, hey, just, that kind of thing, opposed to him thinking he can achieve it.
Yeah, I think there's some room for that, guys, for us to really talk through. So I'd like to, as you guys are thinking about those things, let's talk through that stuff, because I think it's going to be important how we build it, and the challenge I want to always come back to, guys, is we all have our own mindset, and I think what we've got to always push ourselves to think about is there's 50 states and there's 330 million people out there. What is going to be a universal way that really allows us to grow this thing universally? So as we all look at our own way that we like it, let's look at, what is the easiest way to get a bunch of people in a room, So imagine as we go to these conferences and, we got all these different people, and all of a sudden everybody's like, well, man, I'm getting paid differently than you're getting paid, and it just creates that chaos. So I think we should just be very careful how we move forward in putting people in our systems from that standpoint. So lots of discussions, guys, that we'll need to have and get set up before we go live with kind of the compensation. That will be kind of the last piece that we'll have in place, before we move forward. So lots of discussion, guys, that we'll need to have and get that thing dialed in. Any other thoughts, questions, guys, real quick on that? Last thing that I'm showing you right now is going to be this entire model of, so we're working on the categories, okay? And just so you guys can see my screen, there's going to be this is another kind of dynamic that we're going to struggle with at the very beginning as we build this. So imagine I came into the website, all right? I came in and I saw, here's food and drink. Here's my category. Things to do is another one of our major categories. Beauty and spas, sports and fitness, okay? So as you guys are seeing these major categories, imagine your phone, correct? If this was my local partners or community partners, and I clicked, imagine this being my 12 categories, all right, 13 categories or 9 categories, whatever we finalize, right? This would be my categories. And as soon as I clicked on, let's say, fitness as one of my categories, what you saw was gyms and sports. That was the only 2 categories, right? So imagine I clicked on gyms, right? And what we do at the very beginning, right, is throw any of your people into that particular category. We're not after going and getting 3 right away. We're after getting 1 from kind of every category type of mindset. So this is kind of what we're looking at is you break these things down, from these different aspects for things to do, activities. There could be a bunch of these different things that we're moving. So I'm going to get this list finalized for you guys, like home and garden, right? Cleaning services, interior design, HVAC and electrical, contractors, home repairs. Great. Here's these major categories, and then what we do is we subset a bunch of subcategories underneath of those, but it's going to allow us to build this appropriately. And as this gets bigger, when I go into flooring and you realize, okay, there could be 3 carpet cleaners, great. But right now I'm probably just going to focus on the 1 carpet cleaner, get a installer and tile cleaner, and I'm going to try to get as many of these going before I go get my second round of this and then eventually my third round of it. Is that making sense?
Sure. You know, Brad, a lot of times you're going to have people that are in multi-categories there too. The same guy who does hardwood flooring can do tile flooring, so you may have the same person.
Yeah.
You know that, I guess.
No, and part of that, Mitch, is going to be a dynamic for you guys, right? So if you sell them $100 or $150 a month, right, whatever your baseline you're going to charge, okay, that's for one category, okay? Imagine, I'm going to go over here just to give you an example. So let's go here, automotive, okay? So let's go automotive, and so let's say I've got automotive here, auto service, right? And you realize that I'm Big O Tire, okay? Well, obviously they do oil change and lubricants, they do tires, they do brakes, they do all three of those. So imagine you go to the Big O Tire, Mitch, and he goes, well, we do all three of those. Well, you go, great. What category do you want to be in, Mitch? Well,
okay.
Obviously I want to be in tires. And I said, great. That's for the $100, because what we're trying to do is maximize your income, correct? Now, Mitch,
sure.
You might look at this and go, listen, right now I just want to go get enough of these local businesses. So what you do is you set the tire guy up, Big O, and say, listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in the $100 category. That gets your main benefit, $150, and I'll give you the other two categories right now for the next 3 months for free. You might make a deal, Mitch, that says, listen, if you want the other two categories to show up, Frank, technically the $100 category, what I'll do is I'll do them for $40 each. Does that make sense? So now you collect $180 from that guy, or whatever the number is, and now he can show up in the different categories based upon that. So
sure.
I think that's where we're going to go, is try to keep this as free-flowing as possible, guys, because we don't know what the model is going to look like, right? I don't know how, Mitch, you're going to go sell it. I don't know how Ken's going to do it. I don't know how Rebe is going to do it. But kind of what we're hoping to do is keep it as much of a free-flowing. So if Ken can go, hey, Brad, what I'm going to do is mine's going to be $200 a month, awesome, and I'm going to charge the guy $100 per category, great, right? Mitch, Ken can go do that. If Ken says, hey, I want to be able to, I'm going to do that for the automotive service because, man, there's so much competition there. Well, he goes to the spa person. There's not a whole lot of things there. So I go to the spa person, and I go, you know what we'll do is I'll just go ahead and I'll throw in, more categories for you for free until we get somebody. So you guys can have the functionality to kind of set this thing up and waive fees and do all that type of stuff just to help you guys sell. And I think what we'll end up doing after 3 to 5, 6 months of this, do you guys think we'll all be able to kind of come into a pricing zone that should all make sense? And then hopefully as we move into the latter part of this year, first part of next year, we should be able to hone in and now have some default numbers that I think we could all agree to that doesn't hurt anybody, and eventually you hone this in. So as you expand this to another group of 50 or to the other 100, we don't let chaos reign, all right? We try to control it, but you guys being on the front end, I don't want to hard code anything. We want to kind of keep it as free-flowing as possible so we know what those price points look like.
So you're going to allow us to kind of set the tone on that, on what we want to charge over and above for another category or two is what you're saying, Brad.
Yep, absolutely. Because
we just got to be, I was just going to say, I think we just got to be careful because we're trying to give exclusivity under this is why we can charge what we can charge. And if we start giving out too many categories, for say a secondary or whatever, we got to be careful, I think, on that if we want to try and, sell into that category when we already got 2 or 3 people put into there. Then.
No, I think you're right, Mark. And again, I just want to give you guys the flexibility, correct? Pine Top is going to be different than downtown Houston, downtown Scottsdale. So, what I don't want to do is pigeonhole you, Mark, or pigeonhole Reve into a selling dynamic that, she looks at it and goes, Brad, $100, this is stupid. $100 is way too cheap. I need to be selling. You know what I mean? So we're going to make it, guys, and I think we got some great strategies how we're going to do it that will enable you guys to not feel cheesy in the sense of where you're constantly negotiating, but we can set the parameters when you go through this with your prospect that you might be able to go into your back office and set your default categories. So Mark, you set your default categories for $20 each, all right? And so you meet with the guy and say, listen, because you don't have anybody for those other two categories, and that guy's willing to do it, and you go, listen, I'll go ahead and my normal price is $100, and we'll default it down to $20 for you. And all that to say is, and you put a time frame on it that you'll give them that extra discount and all that type of stuff. So I don't know, guys. We'll have to figure this out as we go. All I know is we're going to try to figure out and give as much leeway in the technology as possible, because, frankly, what's going to end up happening as soon as you guys, as soon as we lock something in, one of you guys is going to want to do it differently. And so that's all we're trying to figure out. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great question. Great question, though. Okay. Any other thoughts, guys?
Well, I just have a question on ELP, but I want, if you want to finish off this deal.
All right, guys, I'm good on what I had to do. So what I'd like to be able to do is let's open this up to any questions you guys have, and answer any clarifying questions. So if we're not clear about something, now is your chance to step up and say, hey, I don't get it. Doesn't make sense.
Can I make a comment about this categories real quick?
Yeah.
I like the idea you're doing, because in order for us to have that beautiful image tile environment with categories, we need to have enough businesses. We have to have enough categories, period. So I like the fact that we can have that flexibility, because the nice thing is once I know I've got two of that business, whether it's 6 months or a year from now, I can go back to the first one who's paying me maybe $100 and say, listen, I'm about to close out your category, but it's going to be $200 wherever the real price is. And so it gives that person say, hey, yeah, I've had some success in this, I'd love to take it. Or to say, great, no, and get the next guy. So that kind of at least that's a way to go back to them and upsell him once we've created that value anyway. So I like the flexibility aspect.
Yep. No, thanks. I appreciate that. Because I and again, guys, we're going to figure it out. You guys are going to figure it out, And once we figure that out, then I think we can move in some directions down the road, because what we don't want to do, right? And we're fighting this a little internally here, is giving so much latitude, right, that all of a sudden we become that sales organization where you got people totally screwing businesses. That would destroy what we're trying to do. You guys don't want some knucklehead you brought in here going out there and selling this thing for $500, unless it justifies it, correct? Or he's in a marketplace where he's not consistent, So he cuts a deal with a dentist number one, and because all he cares about is himself, and now the next one he's cutting a different deal with that dentist, and the third deal is different. We need there to be consistency inside that sales territory, so that, because they all talk, correct? They all talk, and that the worst thing that could happen is you hire a sales rep in an area that you've done that person's done too much wheeling and dealing, and it ruins the entire reputation of everybody as a result of that. So, guys, this is going to be something we have to really, really monitor, and this is something we want to get reporting on for you guys. Does it make sense? I want to know what my reps are doing, correct? If I'm you in your area, I'm not going to know. If Frank is out there selling at $400 a month, and it's like, awesome, cool, I didn't know any different. Well, what Frank is out there doing is completely, basically bastardizing the entire system and promising something that's so outrageous that, all of a sudden, there's a complete backlash, and all of a sudden that territory is lost and nobody wants to touch Simply Rewards in that area, and all of a sudden, Ken, if that was your manager, your guy as a manager, you just lost a significant income stream because that whole area now doesn't even want to, you've damaged it. You know what I mean? So that's the stuff that I think, guys, as we build this, right, man, we want to protect it as much as we want to create it. So right now, you guys are going to be the ones that kind of set that stage. If you've got some other people that are going to be working with you, right, you guys have to manage that. You have to know exactly, hey, Frank, this is your price range. You know, you do not sell it above this or below this, and you guys get the drill. So I think we'll figure out all those price points out.
Yeah.
Okay?
Sure. Okay. Question, Brad, on the ELP.
Yep.
This is Mark. Dino and I were having a conversation the other day, and, you know, on the ELPs we set up,
that's trouble.
And, you know, they have to do an offer. And then we can do an ELP. But there's certain companies out there, and you were talking about, I think it was Dave, on that 22,000 employees at a waste management company,
Yep.
whatever the other day. If you run into, say, a company with a large employee base or whatever, or something on that, and they really aren't a coupon company or an offer company, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's one of the criteria to have an ELP. Is there a workaround there if they want to do a bunch of silver, you know, buy a bunch of silver memberships or golds or whatever for their clients and stuff and that, but they really can't make an offer? You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's talk about, you're talking about ELP or you're talking about CPP? Because
I'm really kind of talking about an ELP to start out with, I guess.
Okay, so let's talk through that. So you've got give me an example of just anybody.
Well, how about an insurance agent? I mean, I can't I can't give a coupon I can't give health insurance coupons out there.
No, you can't. Right.
No. I mean, I'm just using that, but there's a lot of them.
Right. So in that particular example, number one, I would never give an ELP platform out to the insurance guy. Number one, because you can't. You don't, unless, Mark, the ELP is designed for your employees, correct?
Okay.
So, you know, so how many, how many,
well, yeah, that's true.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
For employees only.
It's employees only, guys, right? So the CPP program, okay, that will give you the ability for you to sell that deal to the insurance guy. Right. Again, he's not talking about promoting anything. And guys, what we're probably going to end up doing is maybe a little bit, okay, and we're going to have to talk through this. But you're right, Mark. I want to sell my State Farm guy. I want to sell him the territory, correct? I want to sell him the territory for the advertisement, so he's a State Farm guy, all right? So now the schools that I'm working with, boom, they see the State Farm guy, and that's what you sold him. Beautiful. Well, that guy to get on the community partner program, he can't do anything. Does that make sense? He can't discount his deals, right? But maybe what he could do is this, right? You go, hey, I get it, Frank, but here's what you can do. What you need to do is put an offer that says you'll give a $10 certificate to a favorite charity, correct? Or you know, a restaurant around there.
Yeah.
If somebody comes and sets an appointment with you. Is that an offer? And that's something you can do, correct? That's not, hey, come here and get a free homeowner's evaluation, and, you know, I'll send you, you know, give you $25 to a restaurant. You can do that, and that doesn't violate state laws. You know what I mean? As a complimentary, something like that. So I'm with you, Mark. I don't know what we do, or maybe what we have to make those decisions on, right, is let's identify those 2 or 3, 5, 10 categories, how many those are, and let's all of us come up collectively with a strategy on those. That's what we need. So, guys, let's figure that out. Maybe that's what we need to come up with is a merchant that can't give an offer legally because it violates something. Let's figure that out. Go ahead.
Well, how about just a business like Schlumberger or Fluor? I mean, how are we going to set, you know, their 30,000 employees up with a platform that they, as an employee benefit? Where's that platform?
That platform right there that would be, in that example, guys, do you want to give Slumberjay and charge him absolutely nothing? Or is there value for you to come in and give him, would Slumberjay pay for anything, Ken?
The companies I've spoken to in the past, my thought process is the silver environment that we have now, which is valuable.
Yep.
So we'll give you X amount of silver memberships. Your employees can self-promote and self-upgrade, which helps your nonprofit, because, like, for example, Slumberjay has a nonprofit.
Yep.
So we set the nonprofit up, just like I'm doing with Shot Skiers and Brave, Valve. We set their nonprofit up, so anytime their employee converts to gold membership for that additional $30, their nonprofit work, gets that benefit. And
Yep.
that's how I play. So I use the normal website, but as you mentioned before, at the current environment, I haven't approached anyone because until I have enough local offers, there's no free environment. But if we do the silver part, I can then give, hey guys, I'm going to give you $20 times 20,000 employees. That's
right.
your benefit. Instead of charging that $1 fee or $2 fee like we talked about with other companies.
Well, and guys, so I come back to that and say, hey, Ken, great opportunity, correct? You could sit there and you could go to Slumberjay in that example, give them the ELP because it's just for their employees. Awesome. Give it to their employees, right? And you could give it away for free because it benefited you, correct? You got a bunch of employees in Houston that allowed you to benefit because you got more members. So it enabled you to sell more advertisement. Man, I love it, okay? The flip side, I think you could go to Slumberjay and say, guys, we have this entire employee platform, and honestly, because of the size of what your guys doing, I'm going to cut you a great deal, and it's going to be $500 a month. And we're going to give silver memberships out to all your employees. And I think you might be able to get the Slumberjay to pay $500 a month for that benefit.
I agree with that. What platform do we,
Well, and that platform would be the CPP, correct? That would be our CPP that we have an ability to charge on that, So, because what Slumberjay is going to want, they're going to want to do what? They want their own program. They're going to want to have, the landing page be completely unique for them. They're going to want all this cool stuff. So on a group like that, guys, once the community partner's there, let's figure that out, correct? And that just becomes, do they have to broadcast an offer to everybody? Nope, they don't. So maybe that's just the functionality that we'll have. Just like in the community partner program, we're going to have some of these guys that you're going to want to push, right? I'm going to want to push the tire store or the spa person to give me 2 deals. So if I'm the sales rep, think about it, guys. I'm going to the spa. They're a dime a dozen. So I'm going to get you at $100, $200 a month, great. But what I need you to do is give me 2 offers, a silver and a gold. Love it. Okay. Now that's a great deal. At the same time, I go to Slumberjay and I go, hey, we're going to have a community partner program. This is it. It's going to cost you $1,000 for the sign up because we're going to customize it. It's going to be $500 a month for all your employees. Wonderful. Okay. And you're not going to push the giving an offer, right, at all, because there's not an offer to be given, so we won't even worry about that, So that's what we're going to have, guys, is the flexibility in the CPP. That's going to be the platform that you're going to be able to charge. The ELP, we have built nothing for a dynamic that allows us to charge. Does that make sense? So the program is not even in place to make that work. So what we'll do is we'll make it work on the community partner program. That will be the platform that you can charge money from that perspective. Does that?
Brad? Okay. I know I understand what you're saying with Ken and everything too, and there with Slumberjay and all that stuff and everything. I guess I'm thinking smaller potato place, 50 or 30 employees, whatever, and stuff like that. So we can give them an ELP without having to do an offer. You're saying because in the language of the contract, and when I went through the first one, the language of the contract says we waive all the fees as long as you make an offer in the contract.
Right, and I guess what I'm getting at, Mark, the ELP is not set up. The ELP is set up for gold memberships. You know what I mean? So, guys, you're bringing up some issues right now, okay, that I wish we would have addressed 2 months ago, correct? And we're all figuring it out, all right? We didn't have this gold membership, this idea of silver. So right now, because kind of what I'm hearing is what would be great is to be able to go to a business that has a bunch of employees, right? And we give the employer this entire program for free, okay, for free. I don't know why the ELP, I don't know why you wouldn't charge for that, Mark. I'll just play devil's advocate because there's tremendous value in that, all right? Tremendous value.
Trust me, I was trying to do the first part, sure.
Right, but I guess
that's
what I
don't want to give it away for free either.
No, I wouldn't, guys. I mean, but let's say you did because it was a strategic play for you, okay? And ultimately what I'm thinking is we're going to be able to have the ability in the community partner program, okay, to be able to if we need to give something for free, maybe that's an option as we're building this right now, that we default this thing and say, hey, you know what, we'll do it for free.
Brad?
To make that happen. Yeah.
To me, I don't think, maybe I'm misrepresenting what I was thinking, I don't give anything for free because this silver membership that we now have, it's still a $20 value regardless of what it costs us.
Right. So $25. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, but I get what Mark's going at. Okay. And guys, as we're building this out, okay, man, if we have the ability to do some stuff creative because we just don't know what it looks like, Mark might, and I'll just use Mark, but it might be Brad in my particular, just the same thing, guys. So what do we say? Hey, I want to go to the hospital, right, and give away, right, let's just be honest, guys. I think we misplayed this thing, all right, just because of the progression of where we've been. So let me give you a perfect example in my world. I want to go to the hospital right down the road. It's got 900 employees. I don't have enough. Right now in my territory, I don't have 25, 30 local merchants. I just don't have it yet. Like, I've only got 15. Okay, I've only got 15 right now. But you know what would be very helpful is if I went to the hospital tomorrow and walked into the hospital and said, listen, guys, we'd love to give this because you're part of the hospital, and I'm going to give every one of your members, okay, a silver membership. And what I do, guys, is I put in those 15 of my merchants, I put them all on the silver membership. Does that make sense? That we're adding more value. And guess what? I just picked up 900 employees that, guess what, if 100 or 200 of them upgraded to gold, that's a win for me. And it helped me do both things. So maybe that's a model that we need to look at, guys, is creating the ELP or the CPP with an ability to do kind of both of those. And I think that's kind of what we need to work on.
I think that was what I was kind of getting at, is if you had more eyeballs on it, it adds more value to the site itself, number one. And if you had, and I'm not saying giving away everything. Believe me, I'm in it for the money also. But what I thought was if you gave, in your example, I mean, you might turn 100 or 200 of those from silver to gold that you gave out. And stuff.
Absolutely.
And that's a lot more eyeballs on your site, for one. That adds more value than the CPPs. You can sell it for more cost then. Plus, you get the gold upgrades.
No, and guys, as we build that area, and a couple people have commented, it's like, Brad, and it's more of like our fundraising guys, right? They would sit there and go, hey, they only kind of see the value in the local deals sometimes. I think sometimes it gets a little jaded that way. And the truth is, when we bring in the Maui Gems guys, and you're a silver and you get a 5% discount, but if you're gold, you get a 25% discount. If you're looking to buy a pair of Maui Gems, are you going to pay a stupid $25 upgrade to save $100?
Of course.
All day. And so that value of the gold membership, guys, we're gonna sell into that. But like you said, right now, guys, we need much flexibility and understand what we want to do with you guys, right? Is we don't know all the selling parameters. And so if we could create multiple strategies that Mark can play out, Reve can play out, King can do it, Mitch, all of us can do this. Let's do that so that we understand, and that's part of this management group, guys. So I'm hearing you, Mark, loud and clear. Let me work on that because, guys, I think there's value. There's value for me. because what I've been sitting on my butt on is the local hospital. I'm like, honey, where's my other 10, 15 merchants? Does it make sense? So I can go out there and start the process. I know it's going to take me a month or so to get the hospital on board. But if I walked in there tomorrow and said, listen, we're going to give this to you guys for free, and I've only got 10 to 15 merchants, and that silver upgrade, can I keep coming back to Harris Health Systems right there, correct? Literally. We could kill it with that. Right now. Going into those guys, picking up their 9,000 employees, giving every one of them a silver gold membership, and having the upgrade create the revenue streams for the nonprofit. So, guys, that's a valuable process, Mark, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I think, guys, as we're developing this, we're bringing up some ideas that we didn't think about because just our logic wasn't there. So this is what we need desperately, is you guys coming up with different ideas so that we can be successful going out to market. So good stuff. I took some notes on that, and we'll come up with some solutions on that.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Just wanted to throw it out. You know me.
Yeah, I know. Throw a grenade in there and blow everything up. That's awesome.
That's right.
All right, guys. Any other thoughts or questions?
He's got your number.
Exactly.
I'm just wondering, Brad, when I suggested that idea last week, you shut me down pretty quick. But now you give Mark, you know what I mean, all the time in the world to discuss it.
Well, that was at 2 o'clock in the morning, Paul, when we were having that conversation, so I thought you were half drunk.
Dang it.
So, Mitch, any questions?
No, I'm good. I'm good to go right now.
All right, Rebecca, how about you?
I'm good too.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, listen, let's jump on this, and we'll continue to get some new stuff out to you guys. Definitely, let's plan on a conference call next Friday as we get this thing going in that direction. We'll spend a lot more time on the comp model, really talking through that, and then next week, and I imagine this weekend, guys, I'm going to get some more categories out to you. We've just kind of been going through that whole process, and then we should be in good shape. All right. Everybody have a great weekend, and we'll chat with you guys next week, okay?
Thanks, everybody. Okay.
Good wish, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Brad. Thanks, Paul.
Great.
Look for your email that we'll be sending out.
Okay,
All
thanks.
All right. See y'all.
Guys.
Sounds good.
Bye, guys. Paul, I'll let you close it.